Alright guys, we're back in for a condition inspection. We're pretty well done with this condition inspection. The only thing we come up with is we need bearings, the little bearings in the wheel back here on the tail wheel getting a little play in them, so we're going to replace them. They're pretty simple. Got those on order. We had a slight leak underneath the hood where the heater valve is in there. You probably can't see it, but where the heater valve is, we had just a little bit of leak. We took it out and fixed it. Alright, we're down to the motor. We ran compression on it and everything. We checked the screens. We've checked everything's perfect on it. And if you kind of notice, we are plugging everything up, getting it ready to ship because I no longer own this engine. Been a good engine. Gonna be a good engine for the next guy too, I'm sure. We have one over here that Susan's holding the box down for. She's so happy. We are installing a 916, so we're taking the 915 out and installing its new big brother. If I can get a shot of that. We're installing its new big brother, the 916, so we're kind of excited about that. That another 20 horsepower, supposed to be better on fuel economy. We'll see. You're asking me, probably you're wondering why we're doing it. Why are we doing this, Susan? She's asked me a time or two the same question. Well, it's kind of like, you know, when you ride motorcycles, you had a 750 street bike for a long time, and then all of a sudden they come up with a 1000. Well, this is the same. Experimental aircraft are kind of the same way. This was the top motor for a long time. A year and a half ago, I don't know how long it's been now, probably a year and a half, so they came out with the 916, which is basically the same motor. Beefed up a little bit, very little, but it has a little more boost. It has another 20 horsepower on top end. Other than that, pretty much the same reliable motors that they've had for a long time. So anyway, we're just upgrading, just because we wanted to, I guess you'd say. So we're not going to bore you with the install. There it is, and we'll be back with the other motors shortly. Hey guys, we have did it. We have got the new engine home, and we are ready to, well, let's talk about it a little bit. I'll show you around. Let me turn you guys around. All right, the 915 is gone. Well, not quite. It's over there in the box, right there. It's ready to go to its new owner. I hope he has half as much fun as I had with that motor, and he will have a lot of fun. So we've got the 916 mounted. I think we've finished it up. It's ready for test run. It's 17 degrees out. I'm not going to do any test running today, but it is ready. We have finished it up. We've got a few odds and ends. We got to cut the air. We put a new air. Pretty well replaced most of the hoses while we had it apart. And along with changing a lot of the rubbers, one thing I will point out, you guys building your planes, on the, like the bottom motor mounts to this one, that was too close to the exhaust system. And the book don't tell you that you need to wrap your motor mounts. I smelled this one shortly after I think I was still in my 40-hour period on a long climb out. Started smelling rubber, so I leveled off and then went back down and landed because, you know, I don't like smelling something burning on an airplane. And the rubber was burning. Not burning. The rubber was what made the stink. So I got heat exhaust wrap and wrapped them. But the book don't tell you that. So this time I cut out this piece right here. This is probably a 4x4 piece of this heat shielding real high temperature stuff. I just stuck it between the rubber and the big washer out here and just cut a little hole in the middle for the bolt to go through it. And I just clamped it in the middle there. And so now the rubber is completely protected from Mr. Hot Muffler. And this is the cool side. I mean, this is like 3 fingers away from the muffler. The other side is right by the turbo, which is the hottest thing there because all 4 exhausts feed the turbo. But I can't really get you a good picture of it. But I just put that whole 4x4 sheet on there, and then I wire tied this around the engine frame so it's all nice and tidy and good and tight. We'll see. I think that will stay on there. If not, if it falls apart, well, we will heat wrap it again, but I will keep a heat wrap. Is very important on these planes. I mean, you're running really close to your exhaust here, so this is triple wrapped here. Anything I have triple wrapped them, that if they run close to exhaust. Probably don't need it. This elbow in the water, it's triple wrapped here. The rest of it's just single wrapped, but anywhere I'm close. Like I say, probably don't need it, but I want one more wrap on there than you need. You know what I'm saying? We still got to cut the air breather hose off. I was leaving it till we do our test runs. But as I say, it's really cold outside. We put the prop on yesterday. Prime the oil. Let me take you to the other side here. We got the oil primed. We ran the fuel pumps for probably 20 minutes. Make sure no fuel leaks of any kind. We've got good oil pressure, spinning the propeller over. So we should be ready for a startup. I have been very impressed in changing the motors over. I probably would not have did this if there was a major changes of any kind, but it's really so far everything has plug and play just like it's supposed to. I guess the only real thing I had to change was over here on the cowling. The exhaust comes straight down on the 916, where it came out at an angle on the 915 engine. So I had to trim about this much out to make this line up with the exhaust pipe that you can see hanging down right there. The exhaust pipe on the 916 goes straight down, where, like I say, the other one was a 45-degree angle. So that's the only real. Now, I haven't put the hoods on. I have put the bottom one on. I have not put the top one on, but as of this point, that is all we had to do to it. One thing I did while I had it in here, and we've had such terrible weather usually we're flying a lot in February. So far this February has been terrible. We got snow and single digits every morning. And so anyway, I've had time. I have always wanted a fold-up kit for this plane because sooner or later, I'm going to get stuck somewhere with a breakdown of some kind, and I need to haul this thing in. Well, these are made to haul. They're made to trailer. They sell kits for them. Very nice kits, but I really hope I never use this one. But I built this. This is one part. This holds your wing up. As you fold it out, of course, we've released the top from its bracket right there. That's what actually holds the wing on. These hold the wing up. So you have to have a brace out here. So I built a one-off kit to do that. So you hold it up here. Back here, you attach here, and I still have a brace left to weld right there. I just kind of got these mocked on here, but they work fine. You have this brace. You have to I built a rudder lock here. Most of these have springs here for your steering. These are not steerable. These are like a crazy wheel. So I do not have any springs. So I just simply went from it has a hole here right here for mounting, would be like just like this one here. It goes all the way through the plane. So I just mock this up, and that locks the rudder where you can't move it, so it's ready for travel. I don't have these on, but there's basically I just took two boards, two thin boards, and they're going to lay across this side, and I'll just tape them. You know, take black tape and tape front and backwards to lock the elevator in place. I'll do that on both sides. Very simple, because I'm hoping never to use this, but if I do actually have a breakdown like that where I need to travel, I want to be able to. I've got a trailer, but I have no way to lock. I didn't have a way to lock all this down, so here's the other lock on this side, and then the other wing brace on this side. So, one thing I added is the flaperons on these. When I see them folded in other vehicles, when I see them folded up from other people, they seem to go straight vertical on the insides. Mine does not do that. These nuts right here, if you fold too far, the flaperon runs into those. So I built this piece here, let me zoom back up. I built this piece, which is simple, and I locked these two together. So the flaperons cannot go any farther against each other now. So I will have bubble wrap back to back. I'll show you that. I will put bubble wrap or something between the flaperon here and the vertical horizontal here, which is about 1 inch space I've got left, maybe 1.25 inches, something like that. So I have a foam pad of some kind that goes over the flaperon on both sides to continue to brace it there, but that brace I put in the front will stop the flaperons from trying to straighten up where they do damage to themselves. So they're actually sitting about that angle there. So we had to let the air out of the tires because we had it folded back. And like I say, I'm ready to move it out here, so I really didn't want to unfold it again, so we just let air out of the tires so I could go ahead and you have to spin the prop a lot to get your oil primed. And you can get 30 or 35 pound of oil pressure by spinning the propeller, and we did that. We ran it for quite a while that way. And you just have your two drain hose, this one and this one are your return drain hose. We actually have another one, but we dropped these down and just catch the oil in a pan, and we ran a good quart through it. Hooked everything back up, and we got good oil pressure, so we're ready to light the fires on there. We ran the fuel pumps for about 20 minutes, as I said, to check that. We have one squawk on that. Our switches, which they say on them, they're 20 amp switches. But the connections on the back are getting warm. Not hot, but they're warm. I don't like that. So I had a toggle switch like this with screw-ons on it, and I didn't even drill hose or nothing. I just screwed the connections, just kind of sandwiched it on there. Ran it for 5 minutes, as cool as a cucumber. So I am going to replace these switches to 25 amp toggle switches and change the back from slide-on connectors to round screw-on connections. So if you guys run a 916, have not checked your plug-ins on there after you've run it 20 or 30 minutes, you really need to, you can reach up underneath here and grab these plug-ins just to see if yours are warm. This may just be a one-off problem, I don't know, but I believe the old pumps on the 915 were 7.5 amp pumps, and don't quote me, but I think these are 10 amp pumps. So tremendous amount of fuel movement. We did our fuel check. I put the hose in the bucket and ran it for 5 minutes, and we're basically pumping 1 gallon a minute with those pumps. So it took 5 minutes to fill up my 5-gallon jug, right on the money. So, and that's per pump. We never did test it with 2 pumps running at the same time. We tested it with each pump, and they were within about a quart of each other of moving 5 gallons in 5 minutes. So that's 60 gallons an hour. So that's a lot of fuel. The old ones, I'd have to look in my notes, but I think They were 2.5 to 3 gallons in a 5-minute period. So it's just a lot. They just move a lot of gas. We will get it out hopefully Monday. This is Saturday. Like I said, the weather's we got snow on the ground and it's really cold. But it's supposed to warm up next week, get in the 50s and 60s, so we gotta get this thing airworthy again. So that's where we're at. Hopefully the next time you see this, it'll be outside running. Maybe even in the air. Who knows? But we've got to do some ground run first, check for leaks and all that kind of stuff. Be back in phase 1 testing. According to my FSDO, 5 hours. So I'll be back phase 1 for 5 hours to get it ready to leave my area and haul whoever wants to go flying. So just an update. I told you changes were coming, so that's the change. And anyway, the 915 I had was a 140 horse. This is the same frame, same fittage, is a 160 horse, and this motor weighs 4 pounds more than the 140 horse motor did. So it's a pretty good trade-off for 4 pounds to get another 20 horsepower. And in this light of an airplane, that should be a noticeable difference. We will let you know. And hope it lasts a long time. We was up to, I was just south of 500 hours on the 915. So this is a 2,000 hour engine, which don't, in the experimental world, as long as you can pass compression, you can keep running. But if this was a certified engine, hauling people for money, flight training or something like that, well, this is a 2,000 hour TBO, which that means 2,000 hours between overhauls. So at my age, 2,000 hours should be plenty. If the Lord allows me to live and fly for a long time, 2,000 hours still should be plenty. So anyway, we'll do whatever we're allowed to do, and we sure are looking forward to getting into the air again. We've been grounded since, oh man, sometime in January was my last flight. Annual inspection comes in, my annual inspections, condition inspection comes in January. Condition inspection, everything's over. All I got to do is seat pads. I think that's all I got left to put back. I'm leaving all this out. My cover for all this stuff stays off until I get those switches switched out. And then hopefully Monday we'll have this thing tied to a truck and do some test runs. So that's where we're at. Been a while, I know, but hopefully more's coming soon. Here comes my #1 help in the door right now. All right, that's where we're at. So hopefully the next time you see this, it'll be test running or maybe even flying. Sure like to fly again. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you later.